and a happy new year. That's all I got. You made it. 2021. Does everything feel different? No. Why? Because it doesn't really mean anything. But here we go. That dial on the counter turned up by 1, and we press forward to oblivion.
And everyone's tempting fate by saying, oh, 2020 is over. Now things will be better.
Yeah.
And then the moon falls on the earth. And we all die.
As the cards dictate.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm going to be a different person. I give it till March. Before you're all set back in your ways. And even that's being generous.
With that said, it is January 1st.
Forever will be.
January 1st, 2021. And this is the Gamers 2 podcast, your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. Like, do you have any New Year's resolutions? After your tirade you just did.
I like you bringing the fire. You bring the extra topic. You do things. What the fuck does that mean? New Year's resolutions. No. I mean, I have some things I want to do, but like, I don't know. Do I really count them as resolutions?
That's how I feel as well. Like, there's things I haven't even thought about the resolutions until 2 seconds ago when I was like, when you had said something that I now forget because it literally happened 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, which is how we do a podcast. We have amnesia immediately.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, New Year's resolutions, those are a thing.
Yeah, those are a thing. I mean, if we're going down the true rabbit hole, right? I think I would like to put myself on a better workout plan. I've kind of got one. I got one I've eyed, and I think I'm going to start it Monday. Specifically built for a 3-day of the week workout plan that I can do on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think that's achievable for me. That's not overdoing it. That's not trying to do a 5-day. That's just, let's just lock in 3 days, do some things. Just, once again, not that I need to or anything, but I feel like it would just be better, especially in a winter time. I lost my exercise of playing volleyball because of COVID. So I have no indoor I'm playing or anything. So just some physical activity while I'm around. Other than that, I could make joke podcast ones like that we would use video at some point or anything else. But let's be honest.
Yeah, I suspect I have similar goals as far as be better with physical maintenance. I think I got off easy with the whole quarantine situation. Because, you see the social media posts or whatnot, Reddit, whatever you want to call your poison.
Yeah.
Of like, the step comparison from year to year, whatever the case may be. And I think I got lucky in the case that I didn't have too much time where I lost activity level. So I got off easy as far as like that type of stuff goes.
I mean, I lost, on the other end of the spectrum, I lost 6 months of activity levels.
Mm-hmm. So it's like definitely been an adjustment for a lot of people. And that's on my list of things as well.
And I mean, that just goes, I think part of mine, I don't know if I just feel weird saying this. Hi, Max. Yes, appreciate you. It goes into what you say, better physical care. I think just better personal care.
Mm-hmm.
That just, let's not skimp out on certain things anymore.
Oh,
type
hell
of
yeah.
thing.
I just bought face lotion for myself.
Yeah, so you've done that. I just ordered a new toothbrush.
Fancy toothbrush.
Quip.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored, but Quip.
Yep.
Max, do you want into that chair or something? He might need a hand. I don't know. He can be a little dainty. Yeah, Quip. Because they do the little refill service for it, that'll actually keep me on getting new, because it's going to be an electric one, obviously, so that'll give me getting new heads and everything. Like, okay, that'll keep me on a schedule. Because I might, not recently, but I know in the past I have just gone with a toothbrush till it's dead. and that is not healthy.
It's one of those things that you just kind of slips your mind usually.
Right. So that's there. I've debated ordering a new trimmer for beard, because mine's doing a lot of rattling right now when I turn it on.
Yeah.
And it's just like at any point that head's coming off.
I'll tell you from my very, very recent experience. It's kind of bizarre how we hit the same issues at roughly the same time.
It's almost like we're the same person. This podcast is done by myself with two personalities.
It's a possibility.
It's the KFC movie all over again.
Take care of it before it gets to the point of where you're trimming your beard and all of a sudden it's not cutting anymore and it's ripping hairs out.
Yeah, and you're just snagging yourself. Exactly.
Because ouch.
And I've looked at a few that I might get. There's one that does also come with another plan where it's like they would just send you a new head after 3 months. I don't think I'm going to do the plan part of it. I think I'm going to still get the razor, but I'm not going to do the plan. I'm going to give myself a little bit longer, but we'll see. Because I don't trim it that often. You know what I mean? Like I just need it to, be nice and trim and whatever. So there's that. I might order myself some new pillows.
Pillows are definitely a game changer.
I have kitchen towels on the way, so I can replace some of the raggedy kitchen towels with some new kitchen towels.
It's so weird. I'm looking at bath towels.
Same. I could very quickly be looking at bath towels.
I've heard that the waffle style towels are the best.
Ooh, interesting. I do not have a waffle style towel. I would gladly order one to find out.
They're expensive.
I would gladly touch yours after you got it to find out if I should order one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a lot of things like that where it's just I'm gonna invest in me, Matt. Do you see
know what
the cheese shit eating slogan? Invest in you. Yeah, I'm gonna invest in me.
Quality of life upgrades.
Yeah, just things that I feel like as an adult I should be functioning and have.
It's rough. It's a rough world out there.
Right? This room needs to get finished. I need to finish officially the second floor in terms of it being done. The only thing that needs to get finished in this room is I need to just redo that part, put the doors on, and then I might put the stuff I was talking about there.
Yeah.
And then I just need to do one thing in the bathroom and I'm done. And then I'm considering this floor as good as it's going to be for quite some time. But every time I come in here and whenever I do the podcast and I look this way, I get angry at my old work. Every time.
It's an old you. It's a new year.
Yeah, new year, new me. But yeah, so that's probably it. Of just let's not wait until something's gonna die to replace it. Like I have the luxury of being able to do such a thing. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've ran numerous fitted sheets into the ground. Like torn a hole in them on accident. Which is just kind of the way I sleep, because I think I push myself up on my elbows a lot and I push myself up to move kind of on my elbows, and I just take and I slide my arm out, which just drags on it. So there was one spot that was really thinning in one of my old sheets, and I just went one night and the whole thing you just hear, and I just tore the whole thing. I was like, that one's gone.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. But happens. So I think there's certain things where I just need to.
Are you a side sleeper or a back sleeper?
I'm a chest sleeper.
Chest sleeper. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Very crucial for pillow selection.
It is, and that's the other thing. Is like I have a pillow. I'm kind of okay with it. It's supposed to be one of the foam ones where it's got the whole arc neck thing. But I just don't think it's.
I feel like they're not good for chest sleepers.
Yeah, probably not. But I just don't feel like it's that comfortable anyway. But it's going to be really hard to like. How do I order a pillow without trial and error? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Pillows are hard.
They are hard. I did the
philosophical statement.
IKEA memory foam pillow, and that was a huge win for me.
See, I've debated because I've heard good things as well. I've heard good things about those, or like the purple pillows, or other things like that. And it's like
I don't know about all of the purple pillows, but the ones that I've seen, I think, fall into the same category of
getting bombarded.
The IKEA memory foam ones where they're like clearly very sculpted for like they work perfect for me because I'm a back sleeper.
Oh,
I sleep like a dead person. So
oh yeah, you just get in your coffin and go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. And they're sculpted exactly for that. Like, you know, support the neck, support the head.
Yeah.
You got your little scoop.
I'm a chest sleeper, but with obviously my face sideways. I don't just keep my face just planted into the pillow because that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Always ready for a massage.
Yeah. I need to get a bed that just has the hole cut out and I just shove my face in there. No, but I'm always on the chest, head to the side, one way or the other. So I just need something that adjusts with that. But you know, there's things where I'm like, I need to up my game in certain areas.
Yeah. And these are things that are often overlooked. Like you sleep every night unless you're a crazy person.
Right.
And, you know, it's
like the old, you spend X amount of your time sleeping, you should invest in that.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah. That was a little off tangent.
Other things that aren't games that pique our interest, that took up the new release segment.
Perfect.
Because there is no new release segment this week. Because guess what? Ain't shit come out. Next week stuff starts coming out again, but I don't think anything usually ever releases.
Yeah.
There might be some DLCs or something that came out, but
it was definitely a slow 2 weeks for news.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just going to get through it right now, but we're going to have our Game of the Year discussion at the end of all of this. Spoiler alert, if you've listened to anything up until right now, you know where we're going. That being said, do you want evens or odds?
I have
starting at 2.
Do you have a preference?
No. I'll tell you what. I'll take evens.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Sure.
Good. Glad we agree. And I'm doing this on my new Lenovo tablet.
Fancy. I do like its form factor.
I appreciate its form factor.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like that it's less rectangle. Like, it's still a rectangle, obviously, but it's less wide, a little bit more narrow. Yeah. I'm a fan so far. The only thing I need to do is I need to order a screen protector.
Okay.
Just because I'm going to get annoyed at my own fingers.
I'm assuming it's Android based.
Yes.
Of course.
What do you think?
It would be weird if it wasn't.
Yeah. If I was holding an iPad?
Well, I don't know. Like if they had some weird proprietary thing. Which,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, they have I think they have some proprietary stuff built in. Like if you get a Motorola, it's still iPhone or still Android, but it has the Motorola apps in it. I also would have liked the idea of just me holding an iPad and you going, "What the fuck?" Because it would have thrown you. I think it would have.
It definitely would have.
Or just like one day sitting at your house and I pull out my new iPhone and you're like, I don't believe you. Something doesn't sit right here. There's a disturbance in the force.
I'd probably be like, did you get that for free?
yeah. Did you get that for free? You're like, what's your angle? What games are you playing at right now, huh? You're up to something. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that willingly. Number 2. Number 1 was me telling you Game of the Year is coming later. So, number 2. Here's some quick uplifting news about 2020. Matt, we're in 2021. Kill the past.
All right. Well, I just, was trying to leave the year with a ray of hope.
Well, that makes one of us. The ESA Foundation has announced that its recent charity live stream, quote, "Say Goodbye to 2020 for Good," end quote, has raised a total of over $468,000.
Money for people who need it, I think.
Woo! Go those things. Streamlabs has revealed that in 2020, $4.6 million was raised for various charities across 14,000 different charity streams on its platform. Another big amount of money for charities. And in a blog post, Bungie said players have raised $4.9 million through its charity events. Bungie might be the charity recipient there.
I don't know what they...
Boom, joke. Got him.
Yeah, for sure.
Lost that Activision money.
How funny would that be, though?
It would be entertaining.
That's kind of morbid.
It'd be really disingenuous, but it'd be really funny.
Yeah, if they're like, charity, and they're just like pocketing that.
Yeah. If all their players were like, we donated to a good cause, and then you'd have the fanboys be like, yeah, it's fine that it's Bungie taking it, whatever.
They need it to fix the game. All right. Number 3, the live action adaptation of Capcom's Monster Hunter series opened in U.S. cinemas 2 weeks ago. The opening weekend sales for the U.S. was $2.2 million. Internationally, the movie has made $4.8 million. Granted, it is the year of COVID, or was the year of COVID. Could be another year of COVID. Who knows?
Yeah, we're just gonna not call. We're gonna pretend like it's gone.
I don't know if it would have done much better than that.
Well, I think internationally it would have done better. U.S. is always going to be a weird one when that comes up, but it might have done okay internationally.
Yeah, I'm just curious because, I don't know the places it would do well. I don't know what
they're handling.
Yeah, what their lockdown situation is.
I am curious to know what the budget loss now is.
I can look into that. Well, I guess do the next one.
And this is why I took evens, by the way, because I had a feeling you didn't want this.
See, that's like an easy name though.
There's like 5 names in here.
True.
Bloodborne producer.
But they're Japanese, so that's my out of all the other countries, that'd be the best ones.
I take the European.
Exactly.
You get Japan. When it hits Korea, apparently somehow I come in, even though Japan's right next to it.
Their names are totally different, though. It throws me.
Listen, I don't pretend to understand any of those languages. I barely understand English. No.
The budget.
Ooh, the budget, yes.
$60 million.
Honestly, cheaper than I thought it would be. But, so we're saying net loss of $53 million.
I don't know. Hopefully they can make it up, with their...
Sure, yeah. There's some producer just sweating himself through this whole new year going, oh my god. Yeah. All right, number 4, Bloodborne producer Teruyuki Toriyama has announced that he will be leaving Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan at the end of the year. Toriyama's resume also includes producer duties on Astro Bot and Demon's Souls Remastered. Toriyama is one of several producers taking their leave of Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan, which also recently saw the departure of Gravity Rush designer Kiichiro Toyama.
Nailed it.
The Last Guardian producer Kazunobu Sato. Sato?
I think
Sato, probably.
Probably Sato.
And Siren series planner Junya Okura.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I would have said.
All right, works for me. All of whom left to found new company Bokeh Game Studio. That is a hell of a roster to go take on a new studio.
Yeah, I'm kind of enjoying this trend that we've had this past year.
Just a bunch of people in senior roles going, fuck you, make my own thing with blackjack and hookers.
Exactly.
It is entertaining, yes, to just see basically the exact joke I just made, but without the blackjack and hookers, but a bunch of industry veterans that were, when they were, developers, quote, or producers or whatever, on all their titles, and then went, I'm not happy with the way things are going anymore. I'm going to go make my own shit.
It makes me excited for the future, as cheesy as that sounds.
Yeah. I mean, I still, don't get me wrong, love board gaming, right? Board gaming is a great time. But in comparison to people we know, I don't even start scratching the surface of board gaming. That being said, Chris Metzen's
I can't remember.
War Chief.
Okay.
War Chief Gaming. I'm just like, what are you gonna do? I want to see it. I want to probably play it. But if it's like Warhammer is to the nth degree of my ability, and it's too far.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's too much. So give me something smaller. But I'm still super intrigued, and that's not even like, yes, I love the video games that he used to make, but now he's going to go into a different realm, and I'm like, what do you got going on over here?
The possibilities are endless.
Morhaim's got an entire publishing arm.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's the things like War Chief with the board games,
Hudson,
like that could turn into a whole thing. That could be like a franchise thing.
You now
there
have
could
War
be
Chief.
books,
You could end up
be...
having War Chief versus Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah,
which that is a level they could hope to achieve. That is a massive level, but
yeah, could use some competition though.
Yeah, and they have it in some aspects, but not as like an overarching brand competition.
Yeah.
And then whatever Casey Hudson goes on to, and all these things, especially for people that are Mass Effect fans, and you're not necessarily holding faith in BioWare anymore. Whatever Dragon Age might be.
Or might not be.
Prequel. Have you heard of Dragon Age Origins? No, shut up. We don't call it that anymore.
Dragon Age Origins.
Do you want to hear the story of a beginning? About a beginning? It's like the beginning of a Borderlands story. There once was somebody who had a beginning, but we are here to tell you the beginning of that beginning. Long ago, two people got together.
The KF console. KF console. I don't like saying that. You know? Like, it feels unnatural. Because I want to say KFC console, but that's not clearly.
I just think you shouldn't abbreviate it.
Kentucky Fried Console?
Damn straight.
Okay.
Because I too hate KF console.
Okay.
But KFC console sounds also stupid.
Yeah. The Kentucky Fried Console is a thing. Whether it's actually real.
Welcome to the new Stadia.
Yeah. Whether it's real or not remains to be seen. That's kind of a weird way of putting it. I think it's real, but whether it's going to be like something that they sell or something, which
influencers get.
Yeah, probably. KFC has partnered with Cooler Master for the design. On Cooler Master's landing page for the Kentucky Fried Console, they claim it features a chassis based on the NC100 case, which is a mainstream mini ITX case that's fairly popular. But with the, quote, world's first built-in chicken chamber, end quote, it also features Intel's NUC 9 Extreme Compute element and some sort of ray tracing compatible GPU that can handle 240 frames per second. Going off of other websites digging, it looks like the GPU is an Asus RTX card, and the project was made by Cooler Master's mod team, who is led by some Swedish dude who is popular in the modding community that means nothing to me.
Yeah. I hope they're using the heat sinks to heat the chicken.
So if you go to their landing page, they have like a schematic blueprint, and that's exactly it's designed so that it blows the hot air from the heat sinks
into the chicken chamber
and out the top.
Great name. Also, I just want to be able to buy an auxiliary chicken chamber and plug it into my machine.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you imagine? I would
like the
I would get a redone custom side that I could just pull chicken out of.
You remember the Alienware GPU box that was an attachment to a laptop?
Yeah, there's a few of them. Razer has one.
Yeah,
I think called the Core.
Mm-hmm.
NVIDIA, I think, has one as well.
Something like that would be great.
USB chicken chamber.
Yeah, like a little box. Maybe it's you just plug it in. Throw
Can
your
I just get like a warming box? Even if I have to make them downstairs, like even if I had to make them in the oven, I get to just bring a plate up and then shove it in the chicken chamber so it constantly stays warm. You know what I mean?
Everyone's just like screaming right now to get an air fryer.
It's like it's the equivalent of a heat lamp.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just there to keep the chicken warm. Hot Pockets, Tokitos.
Oh my god, Tokitos. So delicious.
Egg rolls. Pizza slices. Maybe I brought 2 up, but I only wanted 1 right now, and I gotta get both hands on mouse keyboard so I can play something. Put the other one in the warmer.
I think we're on something here.
KFC is pioneering. We are just adapting. That being said, can't wait for the McConsole.
McConsole.
Because at least that one makes sense to say McConsole. When somebody else has to go rival them. Whopper console? I don't know. Number 6. GameStop has joined Best Buy, Microsoft, and other retailers in offering full refunds for Cyberpunk 2077, according to a Kotaku report. According to an internal memo, returned games are being labeled as defective and sent back to the GameStop warehouse.
I'm sure they're going to hoard those, get the money from...
And then resell them.
Exactly. And then when the game's fixed, I'm doing air quotes with my fingers and other things. Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
Listen, I'm in the room with him. I don't know what the hell else he was air quoting with.
And then they're going to resell them as used with like $56.99 or something like that.
Yeah, even $49.99 they won't really lose. Because they're not just going to go take all the games and snap the discs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's defective.
Yeah. Classic.
It's not like it's a racehorse. Bad leg and you just got to make it into glue.
CD Projekt Red is facing a class action lawsuit over Cyberpunk 2077. Rosen Law Firm announced it had filed a class action lawsuit against the company alleging executives lied to investors about the state of the game on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 systems. Rosen does not currently have a lead plaintiff for the suit and is asking CD Projekt shareholders interested in joining the suit to fill out a form online. The Rosen suit in the U.S. may not be the only such action CD Projekt Red faces, as a Polish attorney has also said he is considering a suit against the company in its home country. I don't understand how class action lawsuits work. Can any law firm just decide to do a class action lawsuit and just be like, hey, we need a lead plaintiff, or I
think there are stipulations into how you can actually declare a class action lawsuit, and amount of people, and there's probably a dollar amount, and yada yada yada. And
this seems weird that they wouldn't have some. It seems like they don't really have anyone attached to it yet, and they're just like, this is the thing we're doing if you want to jump on board.
Probably because nobody wants to be the scapegoat yet.
Yes. Because it's not like, well, we'll get into it. They're still making money, but we'll get into it.
Yeah. Speaking of, oh damn it, you wrote that as the next shit.
It's fine.
Cyberpunk 2077 has sold approximately 13 million copies, including both physical and digital sales, according to CD Projekt Red. In a regulatory announcement, the publisher said that this number is accurate as of December 20th, 2020, and factors in submitted returns from both brick and mortar as well as digital storefronts. So that means there are still 13 million copies that have been bought and are in the wild. And if we factor in, 2 million returns, I think it's safe to say probably.
Mm-hmm.
15 million copies made it out the door.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's a lot.
That is a lot. This is always the part, too, where it's like, your internet, once again, is a minority to the global space. We've talked about this before when discussing narratives and things.
Mm-hmm.
If you're basing anything it's off what you see off Twitter, there's roughly, I think the number was something like 7 million users on Twitter. Go take a look at the population of New York City. Hint, it's greater than 7 million. So you don't even have one, iota of the world's population on oh my god, everybody on Twitter is so pissed. You know how many people just went watching TV? Oh, that Cyberpunk game looked kind of cool. Bought, done. Alright. Same thing with when Last of Us. When everybody's having all that outrage right before Last of Us comes out. and it still sold so much because no one is in the weeds reading all of that stuff. We're there, sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we do this and we are in that economy. There are so many people that are, I don't even like the term, but casuals that don't even, they're just like, oh, the new one's out, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
They're your Call of Duty buyers, your FIFA buyers, whatever.
Yeah, it is interesting, especially now in today's day and age. Like, the news cycle and society moves so fast, and like there'll be times where like, because of like, I'm assuming it's a combination of that and like algorithms that are geared towards specific people based on what they already look at. Like,
yeah,
there'll be times where you and Dewey will see something in the news and be talking about it that I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Or same thing, you and Dewey will start talking about something and I'm like, I honestly have no idea what's going on.
Yep.
And I have to start Googling in order before I jump in.
Yep, exactly.
Or I'll just be like, I don't know.
It's just crazy how that is. Like, just so much happening and everything moves so fast that like you could buy The Last of Us Part 2 and have literally zero idea of any of the hubbub.
Yep.
Play it, love it, move on with your life.
Yep. You might not have anybody in your circle, like even coworkers. Maybe you don't talk to anybody at work. Maybe your coworkers don't give a shit. Maybe you're not the person that shares anyway. So you just don't. You literally have no idea. If that news isn't going to be sitting on, like, you walk into a Walmart to go pick up your game, that news isn't sitting on a bunch of stands out in front of it of people being like, oh, this game was blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not exposed to it, and the TV's not going to show it, the TV's only going to continue the epic story of Joel and Ellie, whatever. Like,
I wish we saw a breakdown of, like, I know they told us how many PC sales there were, which is the majority of the majority, I think, as in like 60% or so of the sales so far of Cyberpunk. But I'm curious how many sold for like the PS4 and Xbox One specifically.
yeah.
Because I think that would be pretty telling. Because it seems that on the PC, it's mostly fine. PS5 and Xbox Series X seem to do okay with it as well.
Yeah.
So,
still worse than PC, but that's because I think both those versions are running the Xbox One and PS4 versions just updone, because the actual like PS5 and Xbox Series X patch things don't exist for another year or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It looks like we'll be seeing the first free DLC for Cyberpunk 2077 in early 2021. CD Projekt Red has updated the game's website to say as much and to stay tuned for more info. PC Gamer points out that at the end of the launch trailer, behind the game's logo, text flashes on screen revealing CD Projekt Red's plans for Cyberpunk DLC. Before I read it, do you remember this at all happening? I do not recall that being a thing.
I do remember it being a thing. I think we talked about it around the same time when there was the discussions of multiplayer happening.
Okay. Maybe they just...
Because they blended them all together, because it was the idea of what was your future talk for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there was stuff like, yeah, we'll still have the DLCs and yada yada, and then multiplayer came up, and at this point, multiplayer better be like 5 years away.
Yeah. So here's what it was. Quote, "Our planned expansions will take you even deeper into the world of Cyberpunk 2077, offering substantial, story-driven content that'll give you tough choices to make through impactful narratives that you won't soon forget. But before we get there, we'll first be kicking off our free DLC program in early 2021. Just like with The Witcher 3, expect an assortment of free DLC packs to begin hitting Night City, dropping a bunch of cool stuff that'll inject even more life into the world of the dark future." End quote.
I do look forward to whatever that is.
So, I mean, I'm assuming that's like item-based things, or like...
That'll probably be story stuff. Maybe not main story, but like additional side stories dealing more with characters that you're meeting along the way, or new ones that they would introduce. Like the entire Blood and Wine expansion on Witcher 3 was awesome. Where there's like, here's this entire side story, sub-story, it's going to take you 26 hours to finish. And you're like, what? Granted, that was a paid DLC, I believe, but still.
Yeah.
Let's go on to number 10. According to Digitimes, Sony has shipped 3.4 million PS5s in the first 4 weeks of sales, the highest ever for a PlayStation console. They also reported that 2021 will see 16.8 to 18 million PS5s shipped after a production ramp up. Whether that is Digitime's estimates or Sony's is hard to say since the original article is behind a paywall. Also, what was the number Sony said?
7 million.
7 million, right?
Yes, by the end of first quarter, I think is what they said.
So March.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
So we're just at about half of that. But Sony said they sold out.
Yeah.
That they shipped everything they had to retailers.
Mm-hmm.
But that they had ramped up production before all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's shoveling shit into their mouth.
Yeah.
And then trying to send it back out.
Yeah.
Because now...
Because they had said, oh, we're going to be doing 7 million consoles.
Yeah.
Which they're struggling. They probably will hit that number, barely, and they're struggling to do it. And they've had to ramp up productions and ship things via air instead of boat.
Yeah.
So clearly things aren't meeting here.
Yeah. I think it was almost more of a, they knew they could sell 7 million. They didn't know they could build 7 million. The demand was high enough. They could have easily sold 7 million. They just couldn't get them all ready.
It's probably, I suspect it was Sony when they were like, oh, COVID's not affecting us. Everyone in the warehouse goes, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah.
Half of our workforce isn't here right now.
That TV was on the wall just playing the broadcast, and they went, yeah, it's not really affecting us. And everybody just did the slow turn up from their thing and went, what? Or whatever the Japanese equivalent of what is. Nani? That might not be Japanese.
I don't.
But yeah, that whole thing, and then so if we said 7 million by March, which might be a misunderstanding of where I think that timeline is, 7 million by March, then they're saying in 9 months they'd be able to make 9 to 11 million more.
Yeah.
What? If you can do it then, why didn't you do it in the beginning?
Mysteries.
The world may never know.
I do think they're becoming more available. Like people are the initial ramp up is getting satiated.
Yes.
There's been a few instances where people I know been able to add them to their carts and whatnot. So
the craze has died down, but I think that's also just because there have been enough now. So it's kind of been a lull.
Yeah.
I think that'll drastically change. Maybe not with Ratchet and Clank, but Horizon Forbidden West, depending on when that drops. We know when it's supposed to drop, but the window.
Those first couple big launches.
First couple big launches, we'll test it again for what they do. A la when Halo comes out for the Series X. It will sell consoles, but you have to have the consoles ready to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that story.
My bad.
The best part is you're just reading it, and I was like, I mean, I know the next story isn't really anything, but
there were some new trailers that came out. We watched them: Stalker 2, Sons of the Forest, and Apex Legends Fight Night, and then Coming to America. I know probably out of that list, Sons of the Forest is one you're most intrigued by or curious about.
The one I'm most intrigued by, but let's start from the bottom and work our way up.
Mm-hmm.
Not ranking these in any order. Literally, the bottom is by the order he read them. Coming to America. Coming to America. Because if you don't know that there's the first one, the title doesn't help you. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I like that it's on Prime, so I can just catch it and just be done with it.
I'm intrigued too. We don't. I don't know. I enjoyed the first movie, and I'm curious about the second one. And then I saw like Wesley Snipes was in it, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
There's the trailer has a lot of name dropping,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, all right, whatever. Just as long as it's not like cringy name dropping, will be okay.
Yeah.
But I am intrigued to watch it. The first one for me had a lot of funny moments, but overall I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. It's a comedy movie.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't strike anything in me of being like, I'm gonna rewatch that again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, which is fair.
I'm not even looking at. This is gonna be I think a solid popcorn movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, whatever. Throw this on. Check my phone. Haha, funny joke. Check my phone. I'll pleasantly surprised if it's not that, but we'll see. Apex's Fight Night. Their animations are doing pretty good.
That's what I was gonna say. Their shorts are getting good. They're like I started watching it when I was doing the podcast document without. I had no intentions of watching the whole thing,
right?
Or like I had no feelings left or right as far as whether to talk about it, and it kind of sucked me in a little bit, and I finished watching it. I was like, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's like 7 minutes and 30 seconds or so, but yeah, it's a solid animation that I think they choosing that style, I think suits them very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, good story. Pathfinder's is fun. Always a fun character. One of the first ones I played during Apex, just because it's funny to see the chest screen in game, depending on like what your health is and stuff like that. Just funny. Yeah, I mean you don't see it on yourself, but
yeah,
that in the zipline park gets fun where you just shoot yourself around things, and yeah, it was cool. Then that brings us to Sons of the Forest.
Yep.
Sons of the Forest, the sequel to the game The Forest, which I've talked about on this podcast before with my playing time with Kenny. I think Dewey has been here when we've talked about it with him for his playtime. Took me about 7 hours. I think Dewey was over 100 because he couldn't find the rebreather or something. But
I don't think it was high, but I don't think it was that high. But it was stupid. It was like double or triple what yours was.
It was much higher, and I was like, "How have you not like found what you need to beat the game?"
Mm-hmm.
Shot the rubber band backwards, apparently. I'm intrigued because the monsters look once again creepy. That whole weird mouth one. Or like, I don't know, zipper enemy.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah, there's gonna be, and I'm sure those are like the creepy in quotes, being like, oh, these are just kind of creepy, but you normally see them. But for when Kenny and I went into the caves and saw shit we had never seen is when we lost our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Just nope, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm going to go this way now. And you just turn around and run back out, and you come back down with dynamite, and you're like, hope that works. But I saw pistols. I saw shotgun now. I'm intrigued. I built an entire gazebo the last time that we didn't need because the moment I finished the gazebo, we went into the caves and never came back out. So I am intrigued when that comes out. If I'll end up getting into it with somebody and causing a bunch of problems.
It looks good. It definitely, the atmosphere seems cool. I never played The Forest, the first one. I saw some footage of it, but
survival horror.
Yeah.
So I mean, you get what you know with that category.
Yep, for sure. Which is the next one, Stalker 2, which is
Stalker 2, but survival horror. Not even really horror, I guess. I guess it is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's Fallout on steroids.
Yeah.
I think it's what technically inspired Fallout, or it was inspired by Fallout. It might have been Fallout 1, 2, Stalker, Fallout 3. I'm not sure if that timeline falls correctly, but Stalker, the complete Stalker mod, fixes a lot of the problems that was in the original Stalker. And the fact that there's a Stalker 2, it has Fallout Metro vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping Sark plays it because he loved Stalker, so I want to see him play it. Because I have no relation or experience with Stalker at all.
I have a little
Stalker
bit,
is also an acronym, by the way.
Yeah.
It's S.T. whatever.
I have a little bit. One of my friends was huge into Stalker, like obsessed with it for a little bit. I never got into it myself.
There's nobody I have that I know that has, I think, even heard of it.
Really?
Other than me. But that wouldn't have been their genre.
Yeah. It was just an engine trailer, which it looks good.
Looks pretty.
Looks pretty.
I mean, if you know what the original Stalker looks like, looks a lot better than that.
Yeah. Which that was kind of my one takeaway from watching these was that like good graphics seem really accessible now.
Yeah.
So,
which makes it worse when you see bad graphics.
Yep.
And then you're like, I don't know how you made it through development.
It's like, don't know how you fucked that one up. There's like 3 different engines that are like easily available.
Yep. Known baselines that do good work. What'd you do wrong? I used Frostbite. But that would bring us to our final topic. I'll round it out real quick. It is the first episode of 2021. Next week, I'll run you guys through your deals of January. The only thing I'm going to say right now for a deal is that on Epic, Jurassic World Evolution is free until January 7th. That's the Jurassic World Park Manager.
Mm-hmm.
That is free until January 7th. I think normally is like $45. So just the shout out. Because that'll last long enough by the time you hear this to go get it. That being said, shall it be Game of the Year time?
I suppose it shall.
Yours is?
It'll be to no one's surprise that my Game of the Year is Half-Life Alyx.
I was half debating just making the joke of going, and yours is? Title. Mine is? Title. Thank you. Turn off podcast.
I was going to make the joke that my Game of the Year was SnowRunner.
Oh, also true. What if?
But
you know what? Honestly, might be a runner-up.
Could, yeah, honestly. I tried to do a list of everything I played this year.
Ooh.
And
I made the doc for that, and I think I deleted it because I was like, this isn't...
Yeah, yeah, it probably would be, actually. Probably would be SnowRunner. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have put it as your runner-up. Anything more to say on Alyx that we haven't already said? Now that you've also watched other people play it?
Not really. I do have to say that it's interesting. Like, I played the whole game with my 2060, my RTX 2060.
Yes.
And then went to a 3070, and when I played it last night and hopped into it last night, that was the first time I'd gone into VR with the new 3070. GPU.
Yep.
And it was impressive, and it ran really well before. And it was just even better now.
Right.
Which was, I wasn't expecting that as much of a jump, especially knowing that my VR headset is like basically at this point I don't want to say bare minimum, but it's like
it's the lower end one.
It's the lower end one.
Yeah.
So that's about it, I guess, for Half-Life. I know they have different maps now. They have like a whole add-on map thing where you can make maps and stuff.
Oh man,
and people can you can make levels essentially.
Yeah, it's right back to the Black Mesa 2 is going to be showing up pretty
soon.
Yeah,
so I'm a little curious about that. I might have to look into that a little bit.
Yeah.
I also bought did you know Dan Carlin has a VR?
Yes, I did.
I bought it, so we'll have to do that.
Now I'm interested.
Yeah,
because I've heard him do his ad read for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at one point, I don't know if it was a traveling thing.
It was.
Yeah. Because they were talking about like you could relive events and yada, and I was like, I'm super intrigued by that.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I haven't booted it up yet, so
I will drive down.
Okay.
I am intrigued.
The only other thing I want to say that's semi-related to the Game of the Year was the hot take I had earlier that we talked about.
This is a good hot take. I appreciate this hot take.
I think I haven't finished it, and I'm not sure if I will. I might because it was that intriguing to me, but I think Immortals Phoenix Rising might be better than Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
A dark horse candidate.
Which I was really hesitant from. There were similar statements being made, or that the one that was going around was that Immortals Phoenix Rising was Zelda Breath of the Wild and Assassin's Creed combined or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, that's a bold fucking statement. I get where that statement comes from. I don't know if I would go that grandiose.
I think it comes a lot from the art style mixed with the way they did the open world.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. But it was a lot better than I anticipated it being. Just the combination of the pacing, the movement, like how quickly you can move around, like traveling, the simplicity of it, and the narrative. It was like refreshing.
Good. And which is funny because you played it right after Valhalla.
Yeah.
You went from gods to gods.
Which that was the thing I was worried about. I was like, Greek gods, we've had them shoved down our throats for a while now. And I was like, this is redundant. Why would you do a game like this? But their approach to it is refreshing because we all know historically, like, the writings and stuff like that, that the stories of these gods, that these gods are assholes and they're dicks, essentially. But that seems to be glossed over a lot, especially in like video games.
Yeah.
Not so in this. And they present it in a really comical way where they're basically like, yeah, they're all dicks. Like,
yeah, I think you get it that in there. And I think you get it somewhat in Hades too.
Mm-hmm.
With
I could see that.
The way they interact as well. But yeah, I know what you mean. They're a lot like, oh yeah, we revere so and so. You're like, they all hate you.
Yeah.
Like by definition, they hate you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which is
pretty much there's like one of them that likes you. And even then, she's just there to defend you. Doesn't necessarily mean she likes you.
I did end up bailing on the idea of playing Hades because I watched it played and I was like, this is not for me. So
I can definitely see. Uh-oh, your wife just screenshotted my snap.
You're in trouble now?
I think she just means she sent it to Amy. Which I would have told her myself, but I don't have a way of contacting her. I'd have fucking got down on one knee with a ring. That's gonna go over so many people's heads. The thing with Hades, 100%. I don't think it's a you game. It's not your style.
No, it's not.
Too quick, as I would say. Not that that's necessarily not that you couldn't do it. I just don't think
I wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably would have enjoyed it like for a little bit,
mm-hmm.
but then the repetitive nature of the roguelike would have.
That's the thing that kills me.
Would have angered you.
Is usually I like the idea of roguelike games, but once I start playing them and I have to start repeating the same shit over and over again, I'm like, fuck.
There's a point in the loop where I go, I get it.
Yeah. Which is exactly where I was like, I knew it was roguelike. I saw it and I was like, okay, this is like roguelike.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I get it, but I'm not going to waste my time or money on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, where are you at? Where are you at on your game of the year? Where are we standing?
Let me hit it with some honorable mentions.
Okay.
Honorable mention to The Last of Us.
That's fair.
Honorable mention. I was going to say Half-Life Alyx, but I didn't really play it. But Technical marvel.
Hey, the invitation's always there. If you want to borrow it, you're more than welcome to take it.
Runner-up. Wasn't released this year. My experience with Super Hot VR. Because I love the shit out of that.
I really wish we had sent you a video of Amy playing Super Hot. Because she was getting pissed.
I'm more annoyed I just wasn't invited.
She was pissed.
I should have just been there because you would have not got me out of Super Hot. Such a good game. God, now can I remember everything I played this year? Cyberpunk, not an honorable mention. Not far enough in, I think.
Yeah,
and I have issues with it. I have enjoyable things, but I have issues with it. And I'm playing on PC, just for that's not clear.
Yeah, I'm really torn on Cyberpunk because I kind of been putting it off because I've been wanting them to patch it more so that I didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. It's
in a decent, for you and I on PC, it's in a decent spot right now.
Mm-hmm.
Where launch week,
yeah.
Honorable mention to Football Manager, whichever year you want to add on to that.
I saw you dipping into 21.
Yeah, you just listen, mister. All right. Somebody's got to lead them back to glory.
Or lose their job trying.
Basically my life in that game. I win or I get fired.
Or you don't win and you aren't winning quite enough and you get fired and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So always an honorable mention there. There's going to be a lot of honorable mentions because I'm just going to I'm kind of recapping the year in my head. Big honorable mention to Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I could see that. I was going to also say that if I had to pick not my personal game of the year, but the game of the year as far as from a perspective of like cultural impact, it would be Among Us.
Impact game of the year. Yeah, Among Us is up there also.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played it in a very long time, but I enjoyed it when I did.
Animal Crossing would be like an extremely close second.
Yeah, I would probably have Animal Crossing over it. Just because I think Among Us is great. I just think it has the current zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody kind of fell off Animal Crossing after June.
Mm-hmm.
But Animal Crossing reigned for 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
3 to 4 months, just...
Yeah.
You had people flying around the world in the game to get turnips.
Yep.
And their Nookazon or whatever the hell the Amazon thing was that got spun up. You had people selling characters for $5,000. There was a black market for Animal Crossing.
It was a whole thing.
And that should be enough to say that there's a problem.
It was sucking in people that don't normally play video games that I know of, and they were like in it.
It was our gift to our social media person for our PAX coverage help, and hook, line, and sinker might be too small of a phrase for what happened after that. Just gone, whole thing. I was having to text her. I was like, all right, what's this turnip thing going on? It's like, well, let me tell you, we got to go places. I'm like,
get in the car.
Yeah, get in the car. We're getting turnips. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I guess we are. Watch Dogs was there. Valhalla's been there. But screw it. I think at this point we might as well we know where this is going to end up. MLB the Show. No, we know. To be fair, it was a great year, one of their best years, and without a baseball season, and they filled the void for a lot of people. And they dropped a shit ton of content. They're still dropping content.
If we did this by hours played,
World of Warcraft.
Still, you think?
Yeah.
You played a lot of the show.
I can go downstairs after this and check my time played in the show.
Okay. If you say so.
I mean, I can't. I did play a lot of the show, but there's a chance that even Animal Crossing might beat it.
Yeah, because it's the accessibility thing.
Yeah, but then it all cycles back to WoW. Because I could easily be logged into WoW and Animal Crossing, but I can't easily be logged into WoW and the show.
Yeah.
So,
we could, but that's taking a step.
Yeah, then I'd have to put up remote play on my other screen, and I could do that, but I'm not that crazy.
Yeah, I mean a 32-inch TV would fit really nicely right there.
What do you think this is for?
Or you could do that, yeah.
I'm gonna put the Chromecast in the back of that so I can send stuff over to it if I really want to, and then I'm just gonna also turn around the way I used to in the studio, where I'd be doing stuff, and then I turn around and play FIFA in the background while I was waiting for stuff. You remember that setup? It was the stupidest thing in the world, but it was great. Oh, well, we're waiting for another instance. All right, cool. I'm down 2-0 to Man City. Hold on. What poll happened? Shit. But yes, my game of the year is going to the one and only Ghost of Tsushima. For me, I couldn't get much better.
Yeah,
story made sense. Pacing was fine. Combat felt great. And when I say story made sense, I'm ignoring the first 30 minutes where Jin goes, I have honor, and then immediately throws that entire thing away. After that part, the rest of it's pretty much fair game.
Ghost, I really, really like Ghost. And
you played it in Japanese.
It was so, oh my God, it was so good.
You played it in Japanese and black and white? Did you play it in Kurosawa mode?
I did not. I tried it in Kurosawa mode, but it was just too much. It's kind of
too real.
Well, it's the black and white was gorgeous, and they did change a lot of things for the black and white.
I was
interesting.
I was in Kurosawa Japanese for some of the beginning before I was like, I can't, and I needed to flip it back.
It's just the game itself was so gorgeous on its own. It's like I didn't want to miss out on the colors and everything. So I don't know. Like, I'm so glad that Ghost was as good as it was, because initially there was some skepticism in that it would turn out good, especially from some of the people I was listening to at the time, because they were saying, oh, the studio was having trouble and it was delayed and all this other stuff. And it was like, oh, this game's going to come out. It's going to be terrible. And then it came out and it was like, I think it hit at the perfect time, because it was like smack dab in the middle of like COVID and everyone was scared.
July 12th.
And it was just kind of like, oh, you're stuck in your house, you're in lockdown. Here, let's tour this gorgeous fucking island.
We literally both came right off of Last of Us.
Yeah.
I pressed to finish Last of Us, to go into Ghost.
Same exact thing. Pressed to finish, went into Ghost, and it was like it was like I had went 40 fucking days through a desert, and I made it to an oasis with a fucking and someone handed me like a ice-filled fucking tropical drink or something.
And I got naked and went in a hot spring.
Exactly. Exactly.
Did you see the crossover of Kratos doing that?
No.
Somebody had skinned Kratos instead of Jin Sakai going into the water. So you just see naked Kratos walking into the hot spring. And it's like
fantastic.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, definitely, I would have to say, if it wasn't for
Half-Life,
just the experience of Half-Life,
yeah,
how crazy it was, Ghost would be hands down. Like, the thing with Half-Life was it was a great experience, and it makes me want more Half-Life.
Right.
But
and for you, it's a huge nostalgia factor as well.
Yeah. It's kind of like the God of War Red Dead Redemption 2 thing.
Yeah.
Where, like, we chose God of War as our game of the year, but Red Dead, it keeps coming up.
Red Dead sticks with you a lot longer. The God of War is still I don't like saying it, but it's the perfect game. It was paced entirely correctly. The writing was great. The visuals were great. There wasn't. If I'm having to look for a weak aspect, I'm having to look for it. And Red Dead had the problem of Chapter 3 in Tahiti, where it just went, and here's the brakes, and it slams on the brakes. And you're like, we've been going so good. What happened? And then there's just very long stretches where the pacing just seemed weird, but it was such a good game, and we get the moments of mangoes and I don't know Dutch and Arthur.
Just makes you think. And
goddamn plan.
It's funny because now, like, the last game that made me this excited for the sequel was probably Horizon Zero Dawn. And like
Interesting, okay.
When Horizon Zero Dawn came out and I played that, I was like, fuck, I want the next one so bad. And now, like, obviously time has tempered that. We know the sequel's coming and I'm excited for it. But now I'm like, fuck, I want the next Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes. Yeah, I very much want the next Ghost. I think the only thing, as much as I want the next Ghost, I'm also entirely okay that we never get one. Because
I do see where you're coming from.
It is wrapped in such a nice package.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fuck it up by opening it again.
What would be interesting?
You've already added your nice little DLC of the multiplayer thing, so you can do a Ghost of Tsushima, not spin-off, but time period type thing or whatever. But don't touch that story.
What would be interesting is if they took that Assassin's Creed route where, you know, we got Ghost of Tsushima and it was a really interesting, it was great if they took that same core gameplay idea and moved it to either a different time period, a different location, and you kind of like...
I like the idea that they make you play as a Mongol prior to the invasion.
That would be cool.
So you end the game similar to the Red Dead problem, where Red Dead 2 is the precursor to Red Dead.
Mm-hmm.
You do the same thing. You pivot to making somebody play a Mongol that ends with them invading Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
So you end on the beachfront battle, and you know where the rest is, but you've gone through all of this stuff as that warrior to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever you're led to believe that you're correct in all those things, you know, all that stuff. It would be very interesting. I don't want to see them mess with that. The same way that I think people would have not been a huge fan if Red Dead had gone true sequel. I think that they went prequel makes a lot more sense for them.
Yeah.
I think a sequel now is what you want. But now that you have much more depth into the characters and what they mean and story that they went through. Be interesting.
Yeah.
The other game, sure. Horizon. I would like a second one. We know we're getting one, but that even for me wasn't like the one that made me want more is God of War. And we are going to get Ragnarok.
Well, what Horizon had going for it was the first of the for me
new IP.
It was the first of like the new Sony studio games.
Right. And
it was the first experience I had with my now wife sitting there and enjoying watching a game and getting invested into the characters and everything.
True.
So
yeah, and for me it's the God of War where I'd take God of War from 2018. Yeah, 2 years ago. 2018. And I have almost ignored the first three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. I never even played them.
Like I use them for understand that Kratos has gone through a huge change to where he is, but also I don't give a shit about that now. This new story and the way that they're telling it and everything, I am so looking forward to Ragnarok. I'm just like, I'm so in. It'll be so much fun.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that Sony's got a strong IP lineup going right now, for sure.
For sure. The thing I want to end on. Anticipated games.
Covered it a little bit.
We did cover it a little bit. Ragnarok, Horizon 2,
mm-hmm.
a couple others. Is there anything that's like immediately on your radar? I know Horizon 2 is, and I know Ragnarok is on mine. But other than we get Horizon 2 this year, I don't think we get Ragnarok this year. I think that does get pushed. I have a couple that I'm like.
I have a couple I could name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo 7.
Yes, that's also one of mine where I'm just like, do I get a steering wheel?
Yeah, right.
Do I get a steering wheel and put it on that TV downstairs and just?
It's not a bad idea.
And when I get the steering wheel, do I order TV trays because fucking stupid?
Fucking TV trays
Every goddamn time.
The other one is kind of a weird one, Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I'm intrigued for Halo. I'm ready for Halo Infinite just because I'll be able to play it on PC.
Yep. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that I know is coming.
Yeah. Everything we just mentioned, I think, are at the top of our list. I'm excited to see Ratchet and Clank just for, not even for me to play it necessarily, but the tech they're showing off and everything like that, and the visuals that they have, and I want to see what a truly next-gen game does, which is also why I'm excited for Gran Turismo. I want to see, and yeah, sure, we have, what is that game that came out? Godfall, right?
That was what it's called. But...
Yeah, that is technically next gen, but it's like nobody's really talking about it. Demon's Souls, but it's a remake,
which looked good too.
Which looks great. I just want to see. I want to start seeing this tech get taken advantage of.
Yeah, I definitely am curious about Ratchet and Clank because of what we have seen so far.
And also when we thought it would be out now. We thought it's technically launch window, which once again is however long they define a launch window as. 3 months, I think, but... Are you just thumbing through that list real quick?
I am, just to see if anything catches my eye. Back 4 Blood's definitely a big one for me. I don't think it'll be out next year, though. Did it already have a release date?
Well, they went into beta this month.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, that was this month with they said 2021, but they didn't say a date.
They have Diablo 4 on this. I don't know if that's
might be, but
genuine.
we get BlizzCon online or BlizzCon line early January, I think. Early January, February, when they were supposed to do that whole thing. So we should get the update on Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, Diablo Immortals.
There's a lot that I'm looking forward to, but not
chomping at the bit for.
Yeah, like Elden Ring, which was the From Software game.
Still don't think that game's coming out this year.
I would agree with that assessment. Far Cry 6.
People have Far Cry 6 very well might come out this year, but it'll be October like it always is.
Yep.
Also, people have Starfield on their list is coming out this year, and I went,
"Fucking
are you
crazy.
Insane?" People are like, "Oh, my most anticipated games for 2021, Starfield."
What? This one's more for you. Gotham Knights.
I am intrigued to see how Gotham Knights is. That I once again hesitant to think it'll come out this year, but I would be happy if it did.
Hitman 3.
Hitman 3, I'm intrigued to watch the gifts of, but
okay,
I want to see who.
Wasn't sure where you fell on that spectrum.
I enjoyed them, but I haven't actually played a Hitman. I played Hitman 1 with you. We played the first mission together.
Yep.
And that's about where it stopped.
Yeah.
I did enjoy seeing the clips of Hitman 2, though. People throwing the briefcase and the rakes and all the things you could do. I love the free form of that. One that's not on there, though, because I know it's not going to be on there, but I'm intrigued to see what happens, is MLB The Show.
Like what they do with the new...
Because you get new next gen, and I've already visually shown you the differences of running the PS4 version on the PS5.
Yeah.
It is cleaner in terms of just crispness, and I think we both agree we think it's a frame rate thing. But it's much smoother. So I want to see if they can actually leverage some graphic things into a PS5 version. Also, I don't think it's this year, it might be next year, when they start doing cross console and PC launches and whatever. I am very excited to see what that looks like.
Do you
because I might just play it on...
That was going to be my question.
If I get cross progression, I might have it on the PC and the PlayStation. So when I'm raiding, I'm just playing baseball, and then I go downstairs, I'm still playing baseball. Because I'm a psychopath.
The other one that I forgot about, but now I'm reminded, I am excited for it, not necessarily for myself, but Hogwarts Legacy.
I am intrigued for Hogwarts Legacy, almost to the point where I want to come over to your house and force someone to play it.
Yeah.
Where you and I get to Mystery Science 3000 it.
Yep.
And just drink in the background and harass the screen.
The implications.
Oh, the anger that would show up. Can we just make your wife and Amy play it? Where you and I are just in the background just making fun of it the entire time.
In theory, that sounds good, but as you know, watching other people play video games can be really frustrating.
Yeah. But we would just get to do that thing where we'd both purposely sit on the back side of the couch or something, like away from, like behind them. and do a lot of this. For anybody listening, don't worry about the visuals, but it's going to be a lot of this. Like, how do you not figure out to just move the left stick up and down? It's not that hard to cast a fucking spell. Because you know that's how you're going to have to cast spells. It's going to be right stick, just...
Touchpad.
Guardian Levy. Oh, God, that would be so bad. Please don't do that. Oh, no.
Where do you fall on Breath of the Wild 2?
I'm interested from a spectator's point.
Okay.
Because I had problems with Breath of the Wild in terms of, like, it visually great game, yada, yada. But I hit that point and it went, you need to go take 8 photos of things. And I went, where are they? And they're like, good luck. And I was like, oh.
I have the spectator feeling about the next game, which is the medium.
Once again, another one that I'm interested to see because of the way that they're saying that it renders both worlds at the same time and everything like that. I want to see it take advantage of the new hardware.
Bunch of normal stuff. Psychonauts 2.
Ridge Runners is on there.
Persona. Well, no, we don't really care about Persona. Overwatch 2.
Oh, once again, we'll see with BlizzCon line.
Resident Evil.
Also intrigued because it's a new entry.
Riders Republic.
That's what it was. Not Ridge Runners. Ridge Runners is a different game.
Yep.
Yeah, Riders Republic. The Ubisoft Watch Dogs of Downhill.
That's February 25th.
Yeah. I'm interested.
Same.
And by interested, I mean I might watch some videos and maybe play it, but if I do, it's going to be Uplay Plus.
Stray. The cat one with the backpack. Cat with the backpack.
Oh, all in.
For sure.
Is that the robot cat one?
I don't think so.
Do you have a screenshot?
It's kind of like the...
Yeah. That's the one where, there's the 2 robots and the thing. Yeah.
The other one, for me, Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition.
Oh, I was going to say, the new one's not coming out this year.
No. The last one...
You want to see if they butcher the remaster?
Yes. It's going to be like a litmus test of sorts.
That's interesting for me from a spectator point of view.
And to finish off with another spectator one, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Holy shit, that game's not out yet. When I say things like I want to see it take advantage of the next gen, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is not one I think of. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think it's a good first episode of the year. There it is. There it be. There it do. That being said, if you're listening, if you're one of the 7 people listening, and 7's genuine, I'm being honest. Matt hates coat hangers. I can't wait till I put those closet doors up and you can't go that way.
I know. It's going to be... where am I going to stand?
Well, that goes back to the whole thing, because this is when the whole thing. We'll roll out the thing. And if, once again, you're one of the 7 people listening, congratulations, you made it. I'm also curious. It's the new year. What... Not necessarily resolutions. You can send me your resolutions if you want to. I'm curious. But I'm more curious, what do you want us to do better?
Suggestions.
Yeah. Brand new year. We're open. We'll take ideas. We will work on executing them if they make sense. We're going to mention the audio interface again, because Matt and I have forgotten the last 4 weeks since we brought it up to ourselves. But yeah, if there's anything you would like to see us do, content-wise, segments, different shit. Do you want another show? Do you want an entirely different show where Matt and I just ramble on about bullshit? We can do
longer
anything.
shows, shorter shows.
Yeah, do you want shorter shows? Do you want 10-minute snippets? We can do a 10-minute blitz run.
More news that's shorter, less news that's longer. Any combination of the two. Trying to think of what
pack
else.
It up and go home. Not a suggestion that will probably be listened to, but
stop wasting your time
and money.
Gameplay. Tried that before.
Gameplay, videos,
whiteboards,
actual camera that involves a whiteboard, string theory, us to get into random topics,
soundboards.
Yeah, just so you can play clips of me saying horribly out of context things. No, thank you. But we'll listen. That's it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.